How to learn to ski. Strapping fiberglass slabs to your feet to propel yourself down a mountain might seem insane, but once you learn how to ski, it's addictive. You will need warm, waterproof clothes, ski gloves or mittens, a hat or headband, sunglasses or goggles, skis, and ski poles, boots, and bindings. Optional: a helmet. Step 1. Before you head to the slopes, make sure you're dressed properly. Wear several layers of warm clothes, thick socks, waterproof pants, a hat or headband, ski gloves or mittens, and a ski jacket. Wear protective sunglasses or goggles to protect your eyes from the glare of both the sun and the snow. Step 2. Buy or rent ski equipment, skis, poles, and boots with bindings. Have a professional ski tuner select the right length and type of ski for you, and have them adjust the bindings, which keep your ski boots attached to your skis for your weight and beginner status. In general, beginners should rent ski equipment, as your needs will change as you improve. Eventually, once you're skiing a lot and know what you want, you can buy. Step 3. Begin on a flat surface. Get the feel of the skis by slowly walking around, knees slightly bent. Slide one ski ahead of the other, avoiding the temptation to lean backwards. Step 4. Once you feel comfortable in your skis, head to the smallest hill, or bunny slope. Here you'll probably find a rope tow to hold onto, or a conveyor belt called a magic carpet to stand on that will get you to the top of the hill. Keep your skis straight as you're heading up. Consider taking lessons. It's the best way to learn. Step 5. When you reach the top of the bunny hill, position your skis so they are facing across the slope of the hill, not down it. You don't want your skis taking off before you're ready. Step 6. Practice the snowplow or wedge position. With your legs slightly bent and your weight on the balls of your feet, bring the tips of your skis together and the tails of your skis apart, like an upside-down V. Step 7. Gently point your skis down the hill. Keeping them in the wedge position will prevent you from picking up too much speed. Let yourself slowly glide down the hill, widening the angle of your wedge if you need to slow down. If you fall, and you will, get up with your skis facing across the slope. Step 8. Once you're comfortable snowplowing, you're ready to start turning. Simply shift your weight onto the ski opposite the direction you want to turn. For example, to turn right, shift your weight onto your left ski. Stay in your wedge. Step 9. To avoid coming to a stop, turn in one direction, then the other. Proceed down the hill in this lazy zigzag fashion. Step 10. Now practice slowing down and stopping. To slow down, bend your knees and shift your weight forward, widening your wedge. To stop, initiate a turn and follow through until your skis are perpendicular to the direction of the slope. You will naturally come to a stop. If you ever feel out of control, it is always better to squat down and fall on your side than to run into another person or object. Step 11. Continue gliding, turning, slowing, and stopping in the snowplow position. Before you know it, you'll be bidding the bunny slope goodbye forever. Did you know? In 1970, Yurichiro Miura of Japan became the first person to ski on Mount Everest, and in 2003, when he was 70, became the oldest person to reach its summit.
How to cross-country ski. Cross-country skiing is a great way to exercise and have some fun in the snow, and it's not as hard as it looks. You will need cross-country ski boots, skis, and poles, a large area with snow, and winter clothing. Step 1. Make sure your equipment fits properly before you go out and learn. Put your boots on and then lock the toes of your boots into each ski. Start out on flat terrain with a moderate amount of snow. Step 2. Replicate a normal walking stride with your skis. Set one ski forward about 6 inches and then set the other 6 inches ahead of the first. Step 3. Use your poles with your skis. Stick one pole ahead of you comfortably and pull the opposite ski ahead. Repeat with the other ski. Your poles are essential tools in cross-country skiing, so use them to help you balance while you're learning. Step 4. Synchronize your poles with your steps and strive for a good rhythm. Step 5. Glide your skis across the snow now that you've mastered the walking. Instead of picking up your skis and stepping them forward, glide them on the snow, making sure to keep your rhythm. Step 6. Transfer your weight over your forward ski so that when you push ahead, you can pull your back ski in front of you instead of pushing it. Continue to transfer your weight over the ski that is moving forward. Step 7. Work these skills into a rhythm and you'll see how effortless it can be once you're gliding and using your body more than your legs and feet. Did you know? The most snowfall recorded in a day was 76 inches in Silver Lake, Colorado in 1921.
How to wax your skis. Why pay a ski shop? Follow these steps to hot wax your own skis and use the money you save for more time on the slopes. You will need a heavy rubber band, 2 vices, a ski scraper, 2 nylon ski brushes, a clean cloth, ski wax, waxing iron or regular iron, and a plastic dish scrubber. Step 1. Push down on a ski's brake pedal to raise the brake arms. Loop the rubber band around one arm, over the binding, and around the other arm to keep the brake arms up and out of the way. Step 2. Fasten the ski securely in the vices, with the base facing up. The vices should be spaced so that they hold the ski at about 1/3 of the length from either end. Step 3. Scrape off old wax with the scraper, and then brush the ski thoroughly with a nylon brush. Wipe it down with a clean, dry cloth. Step 4. Rub the entire base of the ski lightly with the wax. This will leave a thin base that will protect the ski from scorching when you iron it. Use the right wax. Read the package to check its temperature range, which should reach at least 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Step 5. Heat the iron to 240 to 250 degrees, or just above the low setting. Hold the bar of wax against the iron so it melts and drips onto the ski. Cover the ski with a zigzag trail of wax. If the wax smokes, your iron is too hot, and you risk damaging your skis. Step 6. Iron the wax drops into the ski with a smooth, firm, straight motion. Work from the center to the tip, and then from the center to the tail. Then go over the whole ski again from tip to tail. Move the iron in a straight line, up and down the ski, not back and forth. This will help prevent scratching the ski. Step 7. Let the ski cool for 20 minutes. Then scrape off as much wax as you can. The wax should penetrate the surface of the ski, not sit on top of it. Remove wax from the edges with the dish scrubber. Step 8. Brush the ski with the other nylon brush until it shines. Repeat the process with the other ski. Did you know the world's fastest skier, Italian Simone Origone, was clocked at 156 miles per hour in 2006?
How to carve on a snowboard. The mark of a skilled snowboarder is their ability to carve a single line down any slope instead of sliding through each turn. You will need a snowboard and boots, and 1 groomed beginner or intermediate ski run. Step 1. Start heading down the hill. Keep your knees slightly bent and your weight on your forward leg. Step 2. Practice traversing on both toe side and heel side edges with the board rocked up high on its edge and your knees and ankles flexed. Hold the board on its edge as it rails across the slope without skidding. Step 3. Once you're comfortable with traversing on your edge without skidding, put your weight on your front leg, turn your head and look to the side of the slope where you want to turn, bend your legs, and lean onto the heel side of the board as you lower your body into a carve. Your shoulder and the rest of your torso will naturally follow your head. To put yourself in the right position, use your forward arm. Hold it out, and as you swivel your head, swing your arm so that your hand lines up with where you want to turn. Step 4. As you go into the turn, bend your knees more deeply, but make sure to keep your weight on top of the board to drive the edge into the snow. Apply equal pressure to both feet. The faster you enter a turn, the more you have to bend your knees to hold an edge and carve. Step 5. To exit the turn, swivel your head and body until you're heading slightly uphill and straighten up while pressing down on the toe side edge of the board. Step 6. Stop and look back at the track you've left in the snow. If it's a thin line, then you've got it. If not, keep practicing. Did you know slalom snowboarding didn't become an Olympic sport until the Nagano Games in 1998?
How to wax a snowboard. Tune up your board with some wax for a faster, smoother ride. You will need a snowboard, a solid wax cake, a workbench, tuning vices, a waxing iron, a drop cloth, sheet or newspaper, base cleaner, paper towels, denatured alcohol, a wax scraper, a towel, and a nylon wax structure brush. Wax and cleaner fumes are dangerous when inhaled. Be sure to work in a well-ventilated area. Step 1. Choose the correct wax. You can select a temperature-specific wax that matches the weather conditions at the area where you'll be boarding, or a universal wax for a broader range of temperatures and conditions, which is a good option if you're not as concerned with speed or don't know what the weather conditions will be. Step 2. Choose an area to work on your snowboard, like a workbench or a pair of sawhorses. Secure your tuning vices to the workspace, making sure they're spaced on the outside of the board's bindings so that your board remains stable while you tune. Secure your snowboard with the tuning vices so that the base, the side that touches the snow, faces up. Step 3. Plug in your waxing iron close to the snowboard and set the temperature according to your wax type. Then, place a drop cloth, sheet, or newspaper under your work area to protect the floor from stray wax. If you're using a temperature-specific wax, check the package directions for the correct iron temperature. If you're using a universal wax, set the iron to medium heat, around 230 degrees Fahrenheit. Step 4. Wipe down the base with the base cleaner and a paper towel. Then wipe the board with denatured alcohol and a towel to remove the cleaner. Step 5. Hold the iron vertically over the base and apply wax by placing the cake of wax against the iron and allowing it to melt and drip off the iron onto your base, making sure that you cover the length of your board. Dripping too much wax on the base means extra wax that you will have to scrape away later, so aim for 1 drop per every 2 inches. Step 6. Place the iron on the base and, starting at the nose, move the iron smoothly toward the tail. Repeat until the wax is melted completely and evenly so that the whole base is covered. Keep the iron moving at all times. If it sits in one spot, it can damage your base. Step 7. Let the wax dry and the board cool to allow the wax to penetrate the base. For most waxes, about 1 hour does the trick, but letting it dry overnight is best. Step 8. Once it's dry, scrape the excess wax off the board by starting at the nose and pushing the scraper toward the tail with both hands, using firm pressure. Scrape along the length of the board until you can't remove any more wax. Wipe the board down with a towel. Step 9. Using the same motion you use to scrape your snowboard, brush the board several times from nose to tail until you can see shallow grooves in the board's base, which allow it to slide rather than sticking to the snow. Now you're ready to shred. Did you know? Waxing regularly not only keeps your snowboard running smooth and fast, it will protect your base and help your board last longer.
How to luge. So you want to be a luger, huh? Here are a couple things you should know before taking the plunge. You will need a luge, a helmet, an ice track, and spiked gloves. Always wear approved safety gear, including a helmet, when you luge. If you're not an experienced luger, head out to the track with an instructor. Step 1. Sit up straight on the sled and grab the handles on both sides of the track. Step 2. Slide the sled forward using your hips, then backwards, and give it one massive final push forward, letting go of the handles. Step 3. Paddle against the ice 3 or 4 times with your spiked gloves. Step 4. Lean back with your head back and your toes pointed straight downhill. Try to keep your head level with the track, despite the strong gravitational pull. Step 5. Steer using your head, shoulders, and calves. Maintain your balance and steer minimally to avoid unnecessary friction. Step 6. Maintain your posture and concentration, and you'll be at the bottom before you know it. Did you know? Luge sleds can reach speeds of more than 80 miles per hour.